In March 2026, the world's top exorcists marched straight to Pope Leo XIV at the Vatican Apostolic Palace. Their message was urgent. Global demonic activity is surging, and the Church is dangerously unprepared. But here's the question no one is asking. Did we accidentally leave the door open? Today, we're looking at a chilling warning from exorcists themselves. They say modern liturgy has become spiritually vulnerable, and the demons have noticed. Here's the problem. For centuries, the Roman Rite was packed with imprecatory prayers, specific commands directed at the demonic. Then came the 1960s reforms. The Leonine Prayers, mandated after every low Mass from 1884 to 1965, were formally suppressed in 1964. That included the powerful St. Michael prayer that Pope Leo XIII introduced in 1886 to defend the Church against satanic attacks. Father Peter Carota, a well-known exorcist, put it bluntly, when Latin was removed from prayers in the 60s, all hell broke loose throughout the world. When you remove the spiritual armor, you don't create peace, you create a vacuum. Father Robert Cruz, a member of the International Association of Exorcists, recently stated that for the last 20 to 25 years, the demons are not hiding no longer. They are more daring to tempt, to stir chaos. Why? Because we are living in a neo-pagan society that believes everything except God. The official rites were softened, specific psalms of protection were removed, the teeth of the liturgy, those harsh commands that made demons tremble, were extracted in the name of simplification. Father Francesco Bamonte, AIE's vice president, warned that ignoring the devil's extraordinary action leaves the faithful without defense against serious spiritual attacks. When the Church downgrades its spiritual weapons, the enemy takes note. Now look at the data. In Ireland, exorcists report a sharp increase in people seeking solemn exorcisms, directly linked to the widespread abandonment of the faith. The AIE presented a report to Pope Leo XIV warning of a, quote, painful and increasingly widespread situation of people seriously affected by the extraordinary action of the devil. This is not superstition, it's frontline observation. Exorcist Father Chad Ripperger has noted that demons react differently to the traditional Latin Mass versus the Novus Ordo. He recounts a possessed man who could sit through the Novus Ordo until the consecration, but in the Latin Mass, the demon manifested almost immediately upon the priest entering the sanctuary. The loss of sacred silence, the shift to the vernacular, the removal of exorcised salt and complex blessings, all of it creates a spiritual environment that is less fortified. This brings us to the core theological wound. When the liturgy shifts from a God-centered sacrifice to a man-centered communal meal, the vertical dimension, the direct link to divine protection, is weakened. Father Ripperger emphasizes that the sacraments of confession and the Eucharist are so powerful that demons will do everything to destroy and to make it boring for people. A boring, desacralized liturgy is a playground for the preternatural. When the mention of the devil is scrubbed from Sunday worship to avoid offense, the faithful are left spiritually blind. The sanctuary ceases to be a fortress and becomes just another room. So what can you do? First, recognize that the crisis is real. The AIE is calling for every diocese in the world to have at least one trained exorcist, but you don't need to wait for your bishop. Father Ripperger recommends traditional sacramentals, the brown scapular, blessed holy water, exorcised salt, and the miraculous medal. Pray the rosary daily. Father Cruz insists that praying the rosary, the sacraments, consistent conversation with God, and fasting are gifts that defend the faithful and restore reverence in your own worship. If your parish has lost the sense of the sacred, bring it back in your own heart. Kneel. receive on the tongue, adore in silence. The exorcists have sounded the alarm. The question is whether we will listen. The battle is real, but the weapons of the Church are stronger than any demon, if we choose to use them.